we discovered yesterday that there were a few different articles just recently, as in like yesterday and the day before, this year, written about our podcast and our relationships.
Louisiana has a history of being one of the most politically corrupt states in the country, from the post-Civil War to present. And if anybody can see how crazy and fucked up we really are, you can just watch some press conferences after this, terrorist attack and just get a little glimpse at what we're dealing with here. What Biden did last week was amazing. I think it takes a lot of balls to be able to do that, to show a semblance of mercy on people's lives.
I saw someone say that everyone who has done any kind of reporting or talking out on behalf of Luigi is apparently on the government watch list. So,
yep.
If that's true, I just wanted to say hello.
Do you like my shirt?
I actually really love it.
It's my Mardi Gras shirt. Guess where I got it from?
New Orleans.
Yeah, but guess what store?
I don't know.
My favorite store. That you hate.
Goodwill.
I
don't fucking hate Goodwill, for the record.
I'm just messing.
But you said that on here before, so now people are going to be like, wow, what a bougie ass bitch.
No, I mean, and I'll say it too. Like, I can't stand the Goodwill clearance. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Call me bougie, whatever. But that place definitely gives me hives. Definitely gives me hives. But I get it. Just some people have like different preferences of shopping.
If I wasn't an ADHD queen, I could probably enjoy that store. But honestly, the amount of overwhelmedness, because like even when I go to like somewhere like TJ Maxx, and I love TJ Maxx and stuff like that, I can't do it. I get fucking overwhelmed. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a lot because you have to sit there and go through like each thing on the on the rack, you know. But I'm wearing this obviously because I love my city, born and raised. And we just went through on New Year's Day, 3:28 in the morning, I believe, was the timestamp given, when we were attacked by a domestic. I'm going to point that out. Domestic terrorist. And he killed
Sleeper cell.
14 other people. And now I guess obviously we're a resilient city. We've been through a lot, Hurricane Katrina, hurricanes, all kind of crap. So we'll bounce back. I know that about us, but, and we're not going to change obviously, but it does. I will say this, you never think, especially in a city like New Orleans is very unique in the fact that it is a big city. It is a metro city. There are in the metropolitan New Orleans area over 1 million people, but it's also a small town feel. Like people, like if you grew up here, everybody knows everybody, or you know somebody that knows somebody, you know? So it's a little different. But I know that we're strong, we're tough, we're a loving, warm city, and we're not going to change. So that's why I'm wearing my obviously I'm getting ready for Mardi Gras because that's what we do after Christmas anyway, but I'm just wearing it today for that because I'm standing in solidarity with my city. But I was just saying that I never thought, you think of this happening in New York or Los Angeles, like major cities like Philadelphia or Boston or Miami or, just big cities, but you never think that it's going to happen here. And I guess what has me kind of like intrigued, if anything, by this is the fact that this also happened in Las Vegas. And it happened by people that, everybody thought, oh, they're foreigners. And turns out they were both in the same military base, I believe.
Fort Hood in Texas?
Yeah.
That's weird.
One was a special ops, and I think the one here worked in HR or IT or something like that. But they were stationed in the same military base at the same time.
This literally goes back to how our country is. I know we're trying to get better, but never cared about taking care of people, men, especially that came home from war or military or like PTSD. Like they never really considered that like a real thing that needed addressed. And then there's all these people who won't get help, and then it just festers and turns into this.
Well, and I think people think, oh, you're in the military, you're supposed to be tough and you're supposed to be able to,
that's the climate when you're there too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love my city and my thoughts also with the people in Las Vegas. Thankfully, I don't think anybody was hurt or injured.
No.
In that, I think it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. Apparently,
he wanted to kill himself. I guess a lot of stuff is coming out about that now. He I guess didn't intend to kill a bunch of people. It was more so he said that he wanted to create like a giant spectacle because that's the only thing that gets attention in America, which isn't wrong. And he also had some conspiracy theories about the drones and said that China was hacking us and stuff. So it's just, again, PTSD and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, but my thoughts and prayers also go out to the families here. And this was a big weekend for us. We had the Sugar Bowl, we had New Year's Eve, and
the victims, the families.
And some of them are locals, and some are even international people. Yeah. Like people just came here to celebrate and have a good time, So it's just a very tragic situation. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I'm just here to support and show love.
Mm-hmm.
To my city, 504.
And hope that humanity will eventually change.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Are you ready to dive in, Paige?
I am. I can't. Oh my God. That's just so depressing. I can't.
I know. I hate starting it out depressingly, but it's what's happened. Like I said, we never thought that something like this would happen here,
Well, no, because weren't those the barrels that keep cars out even down for construction or something? Like, do you think he knew that?
I have a feeling he scoped it out. I have a feeling he had to have scoped out areas where there were construction to where they were fixing the metal barricades because they come up out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they had with those plastic ones, they weigh down with sand that you can just barrel right through. So I have a feeling he scoped out. He definitely had to because he was here for weeks before, I believe. So
sick.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, welcome to Love with the Malls, a Prison Wife podcast. I'm your friendly host, Gigi here, and I'm here with the lovely beach waver blonde beauty.
Your friendly host, Paige. Hello.
Yes. And can we all give a shout out to Paige's background? Can you please tell everybody, especially for our audio listeners, because she's got a really, this was awesome for New Year's Eve, and she decided to keep it up, and I love it. Go ahead and tell everybody, oh yeah, she's showing y'all. So in the background, it says, it's balloons, it's all balloons, and it's got like a golden glittery background, and it says, fuck 2024, and what does it say?
Hello 2025.
Yep. And are we starting 2025 off?
Oh.
I'll be honest. I broke out into hives last night, Paige. I really did. I had to take medication last night to go to sleep.
No.
I don't know. I not that I have a bad feeling about it. I think I was just worried, very worried, very, very concerned.
It's scary because for those who don't know, who don't follow us on Instagram, we discovered yesterday that there were a few different articles just recently, as in like yesterday and the day before, this year, written about our podcast and our relationships. Yeah. And there was even some written last year that we didn't see until
In
now.
December, yeah, the end of
And
December.
no one told us. So, like, initially when you see it, you're like, all right, here's a hate piece. Like,
Yeah,
let's go. Let's read it. But although it wasn't totally true, it could have been a lot worse, I think,
yeah,
for sure. Um, there weren't that many, there weren't really as many digs that are usually in articles like that about prison wives. So I will say I at least appreciate that. But like, hey, anyone ever wants to interview us, we'll talk about the pod. Well, like, that's what we want to do.
yeah.
So
Yeah, well, we're here to talk about it. We're here to share our story. We're here to, collaborate with anybody or, get if people want to write about us, that's fine. We don't have a problem with it, but it was a little nerve-wracking just because, me, I'm still tiptoeing out of the closet and, I don't obviously I told myself at some point I can't hide forever, but
it's
it was just
scary.
a little nerve-wracking about, people seeing that and, not so much not so much the comment the mean comments, which we'll share on our mean tweets today, because these people are dumb and they're playing right into what the article's talking about. I swear to God, they really are, and they're proving our point clearly. But I think just people seeing it and seeing and having my face plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
But that
Unexpected.
to me, that's a little nerve-wracking.
It was unexpected for sure, and I think it's more freaky that the person who found it was shared on one of those like mommy Facebook groups that has like
Yeah,
7 million fucking followers. And I'm not
yeah,
exaggerating. And the way that they do that is they like pair with these like websites, and they then they get commissions for the links and the clicks and the stuff. But like this was a page that like I followed it already. Like a bunch of
hmm
people I know followed it. So like I don't know who saw that, but
yeah. It is what it is. Like I kind of tell myself this morning, like there's nothing you can do about it.
mm-mm.
We put our information out there in a public manner.
Yep.
Therefore, people can take it and use what they want. And they obviously stalked our Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
took pictures from there. And then they took information that we said in some of our episodes here and used that. So yeah, I think it was just a little bit overwhelming when I got the first one. It was my stomach like fell into my ass.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we started digging and we saw that this was published in Australia, Scotland, UK, here, like
Ireland.
Ireland, yeah, everywhere. And there were multiple different articles. Like there was one about you wearing all black to visits, and
And
there was
my
one about.
there was
Go
one
ahead.
explaining our domestic partnership situation and stuff too. I was like, oh,
Yeah, like they're clearly listening, which we're grateful for, and I'm happy for the press. Any press is good press to me, but I think it was just a little. I was like, I was a little spiraling last
no,
night.
I
I really,
I feel that because I was like I was scared at first. I was like, oh, I'm kind of excited, but then I was like, I didn't really take the possibility that they could be ripping us.
yeah,
Um, but I like expect that. So honestly, like even the comments that I know that we said that we'll bring it up, I that's nothing new. Like whatever you didn't hurt my feelings.
no, I don't really give a shit about that. I mean, I,
Hmm.
I actually looked at them and started laughing.
No, I
Believe it or
left
not,
some of them. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I was like laughing at them, but it's just it's like I said, it wasn't even the comments about it. And even in that mommy group, we got like a bunch of laughy, how like you can comment with like the
Hmm.
laughy face, like we got that. So that doesn't even bother me. It's I think just more of the exposure and it happened like in realizing the magnitude of that exposure. But it is what it is, and I'm just grateful. Like I said, I'm just grateful that they're putting our name out there. Hopefully, we reach people that didn't know we were out there and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
maybe someone will see it that's also on a journey like this that feels alone, and they'll find community within us. And that honestly, even if that happened one time off of this article, it would make it worth it. So,
yeah, that's true. That's true. Very true. All right, are we ready to start, Paige?
yes.
Okay, here we go. Getting my sound bird together. Ooh, my volume is so low. Hold on. There we go. Let's start over here, sir. Okay. All right. What up with that legislation? Paige, do you have anything or
I
not?
I have
Or you
one
want?
thing, but I feel
Okay.
like you have the big banger, so you should start with that.
Okay. I am going to start with. If I can listen, I have so much stuff in my folder here. Um, Dang it. I don't know what I did with it, but I will talk about this. This was brought up after, obviously, last week we talked about Biden's pardoning of the, not pardoning, but commuting the 37 on death row, their sentences. Well, shortly after that, the governor of North Carolina decided to commute 15 of the condemned men on death row in this at the state level. This is not. I can't find what I did with it, but and I'm stuttering because I can't find it, and it's frustrating me. But basically, he took what Biden did and decided, well, I'm gonna commute 15. It wasn't all. It was only those 15, and those they were obviously selected by his staff.
I'd be interested to know how he chose.
Yeah. Okay, it says North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper commutes 15 death sentences, but there are still 121 on North Carolina's death row. So he is leaving. He's outgoing governor. So that's what he decided to do. It is. I mean, you can Google it, and it's all over the place. So I'm sure you can find out why just those 15. It said Cooper announced on Tuesday that he reviewed 89 clemency petitions
Okay, so
and granted only 15. So
they submitted clemency. So that makes
yeah,
sense.
they kind of did what we did in 2023. But like I said, every state is different. Like we can submit here clemency petitions, but it has to go through the pardon board, and then the pardon board can recommend clemency. Then the governor, if he chooses, can decide to grant it.
That's
But the
like,
governor here can't grant it by himself.
oh, okay.
It strips power away from the governor, basically. So
why do they do that?
because we had. In fact, I'm going to say this, and you can, because I know people are going to jump on my ass, but I lived in Louisiana for 41 years, so you can fuck off. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it like that. Louisiana has a history of being one of the most politically corrupt states in the country, from this post-Civil War to present. And if anybody can see how crazy and fucked up we really are, you can just watch some press conferences after this. After this, terrorist attack and just get a little glimpse at what we're dealing with here. Well, we had some very corrupt governors, and they just pardoned, took it upon themselves to just grant pardons and clemency to all these people, and as they were leaving office, and I think
Like
the state was like, huh?
Like they're buddies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think that pissed off a lot of people. Therefore, they started to take away powers like that from the governor, so they can't just do a mass clemency if he or she wanted to. So, yeah.
What a terrible.
And I cussed. Oh, no, it's not 10 minutes. Just saying. Sorry, Mom, I cussed. But I'm very, I'm very adamant about knowing about my state. And if you want to argue with me and you don't live here, you can, like I said, you can just fuck off, is what I said. So people can get mad at me for that, but
you said what
it's
you
true.
Said.
Well, listen, I graduated with political science bachelor's degree. I've taken a lot of political classes about the South, and especially in Louisiana. So, try me. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not coming to you with just bullshit. I'm coming to you with background knowledge and studying this for 5 years in college. Try me. So,
Clock it.
clock it, bitch. So that's the big one. So I mean, I think like I said, what Biden did last week was amazing. I think it takes a lot of balls to be able to do that, to show a semblance of mercy on people's lives. And so he's leading by example. And now this governor is like, well, seeing what he did, I'm going to do something, maybe not on the bigger scale like that, but
similar,
doing something. So 15 lives have been spared from North Carolina's death penalty. And if you don't know, North Carolina is almost like South Carolina, where it's like electric chair, firing squad, the whole
like
thing.
Not a normal thing there for them to. That's why I was like, oh. Okay.
So yeah, that was what I had as far as legislation. Paige, you had something? You had an update, huh?
I had an update. It's not legislation, but it
Okay.
is just an update on the Robert Brooks situation that we did unfortunately cover last week. Basically, this is just an article that came out on CNN. They interviewed people that were previously incarcerated there, and they just made some comments saying that this place is quote unquote run by a mob. So, one of the men who had transferred to Marcy in November originally transferred there because he wanted to participate in the prison's substance abuse treatment program. But in the short time since he arrived and until now, he basically said that he had several encounters with the prison correctional officers who he alleged have used physical violence and threats of retaliation to get him to comply with different demands. He said, I've been thrown against a wall, head smashed against the wall, as well as rib shots, and have bruised my ribs. Our freedom and life has been threatened. He's serving a 3.5-year sentence for a gun charge. This man.
Jeez.
So this isn't even someone previously incarcerated. And he's in there right now saying that this is run by a mob. And this kind of behavior that these officers did towards Mr. Brooks is normal behavior. And I mean, there's one way that you can figure that out, and that's pulling those cameras.
Yes. And I was going to say, thank God they were wearing body cam, because just shows you that. And someone even said this on our YouTube a video, I think, that the fact that this is how they act with body cameras on. Like, they know they're being recorded, and they're still doing it blatantly and getting away with it, clearly.
The one thing that Joseph mentioned to me, and I was like, I didn't even think of it like that, is that at least, I don't know if it's everywhere like this, but California, the workers' union that they have for the correction officers is insane. Like, it is so strong, like, and they know that they have that to back them up all the time. Yeah. So, it's like, even if you do have, action on something, a lot of the times you don't, because they have a lot of money and a lot of lawyers, and they'll use them if they have to.
Yeah. They have that extra layer of protection.
Yep.
So they can get away with stuff, for sure.
Money talks.
Money talks. Got that song. Now I'm going to have that song in my head.
But I just wanted to talk about that because, it's a terrible situation, and keep bringing light to it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I did hear that the FBI has taken over the Robert Brooks case.
Good.
So it's not just the state investigative team. The FBI is now involved in this. So hopefully at the federal level.
I think all of New York at this point, y'all need to have all of your systems looked into, because there's some shady shit happening everywhere.
New York might be number 2 for second most corrupt state government.
But they have family visits. It makes no sense. This fucking country makes no sense, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can seriously, I'm not trying to get political, but if you can seriously say, I trust my government 100%.
Weird. Wouldn't be me, but
I can't trust my government to fix the potholes in this area. I can't trust my government to handle death penalty cases. I can't trust my government to handle the justice system. I can't trust my government to hire good people that are going to work in correctional facilities and not kill people they feel superior over.
I can't trust my government to replace the barrels in the streets or have some kind of actual protection there. You know, the odds are when they removed those for whatever reason, there had to be someone that was like, do you think that we should put something else here other than.
That's too much money. That's too much money.
Yeah,
You can't invest
exactly.
in that.
Exactly.
Safety's
Oh
gonna
no,
happen.
it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Just when you think it can't happen, it will. Just saying. But I don't trust my government at all. And if you are like, "Oh my god, the government's amazing. Freedom, eagles, majestic, mountains." Like, yes, we have a beautiful country, but the people running it are sketchy sketch.
I saw someone say that everyone who has done any kind of reporting or talking out on behalf of Luigi is apparently on the government watch list. So,
Yep.
if that's true, I just wanted to say hello.
Hi, I'm now on the FBI watch list. Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you. Put that in our next article. They are also on the FBI watch list.
Yes, indeed. Anyway. All right. Well, are we ready to talk about, are we ready to play a game?
I'm pleased.
Okay. So we decided to do a Never Have I Ever. And I don't know how you want to do it, Paige. Do you want to just raise your hand? Do you want to do
Should we
like
do
a
10
little
fingers? Or wait,
like
wait, wait.
this?
Never have I ever is.
So like usually, you say never have I ever, and then you say something, and then the person that
You put
has done it has to. It's usually a drinking game where I'm drinking my Coke Zero
Yeah.
here.
Do we how many fingers do we put up?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. You want to do
How
like
many
just
how
a
many did you
wave?
get?
4.
Okay. Should we do
Sadly, I was
I
hoping
know.
for a lot more, but I only got 4 from our Wallers. So
Should we just do like 3 fingers?
sure.
All right, 1 second. Let me finish this piece of hair because
All right. So here we go with the never have I evers that you guys came up with for our podcast. Okay. And thank you to the 4 people. Thank you to the
shout
4
out.
people that contributed. I do thank you. I thought we'd have a lot more, to be honest, because I thought people would want to see if we have ever done these things. All right, here we go. Never have I ever tried to get handsy with my loved one at visit.
Define handsy.
Grabbing, getting touchy. It could be just touching them or
I've never like done anything bad like that at visit, but
okay.
I'm gonna keep my finger up because I really haven't.
Yeah. Wait, no, if you have, you put it up.
You put it down if you have.
Oh, I thought I was putting it up if you did do it.
Never have I ever.
So I would drink because
But
I
if you
have.
did, you put one down.
Or you wouldn't wave your hand up, basically, if you did not. So, Paige, if you're a good girl, you wouldn't put your hand up.
Okay, so this is how I always played Never Have I Ever. You start with fingers, and then you put one down as, how do you play?
Oh, I just take a drink every time I've done something that somebody says.
Okay, okay.
Oh, so we're doing this.
That's how I'm used to playing.
Okay, well, let's do it like that then. So never have I ever tried to get handsy with my loved one at visit. So yes. 3. Now I'm down
Okay,
1.
so I'll start with 4 then.
Okay, so you're staying with 4?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Never have I ever hooked up with a CO.
Hell
Good
no.
one, though. That's a good one, though. Here we go, Paige. I want to know this one. Never have I ever farted in front of my man.
I for
You
sure
have?
I for sure. Please. It's actually
I
really
can't
funny.
even.
It's really funny because our first few family visits we didn't, but especially, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. The last one that we had, we were getting so annoying to the point where he would like cuddle with me and then I would like just do it then on him.
Oh, like Dutch oven his ass.
Yes.
Damn.
That's our level of comfortability.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I refuse. I refuse to talk about farting. I refuse to do it in front of Michael on the phone or anything. So,
Well,
yeah.
I hope the day doesn't come that you guys have to take shits in the same house, bitch.
I don't even want to think about it.
Joseph, I literally, when I had to poop for the first time at family visit, I thought I was going to have like a panic attack. The first family
Yeah.
visit, I didn't poop. But then I
You just
left
stayed.
and it was like painful.
Yeah.
But
That,
see, now
that probably was not healthy at all.
I learned I had to.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
get it. Bathroom stuff's weird sometimes.
Oh, I'm very weird about bathroom stuff,
Hmm.
especially with Michael. I'm a lady. I'm a lady.
You're like, I
Anyway,
don't go to the bathroom. I don't go
I
number
don't
two.
have a digestive system.
Yeah.
All right. Our last one. Never have I ever gotten a matching tattoo or tattoos with my loved one.
Not, no.
Okay. I have. Michael and I both have our quote that we used to put in letters. I think I talked about this on the pod. Ever thine, ever mine, ever ours from Beethoven. And if you're a Sex and the City fan, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, we have matching tattoos in that regard. So yeah.
I love Mr. Big Lore.
Yeah. So I ended with 2
I ended with
out of the
3.
4. Okay. All right. It's not really a winner, but I guess just to see what we've done and what we haven't
Yeah.
done. So
You guys,
thank you to our.
everyone, comment below how many fingers you have up.
Yeah. All right. Well, Paige, that was a fun little game. I enjoyed that.
That was fun.
And if you have any more Never Have I Evers and you want us to do it, comment, please. Because
Send
I
them
was
our
hoping to
way.
get a lot more and we only got 4. All right. The next one, Paige has some hot topics, and we wanted to do this again because I'm gonna let you talk about it, Paige.
Yeah, well, we kind of looked over our episodes from last year, like specifically some of the streaming numbers on Spotify, and 2 of the episodes that did really well on there, and even with our clips, were the episodes where we talked about prison wife stereotypes or like, the hot topics that people like to talk about, the shit that we deal with all the time. So I understand why that is the viral part. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's the shit we're dealing with. So we went in and this time I chat GBT'd a few. So there might be some that are the same. I'll go through and I'll read all 10 of them. And then we can, after I read each one, we can kind of, follow up like we did before if you want to.
Sure.
Okay. So this one is one that we had before. Prison wives are desperate, and we cannot find anyone better. Once again, loving someone behind bars does not mean that I am desperate. It just means that I can see value in someone no matter where they are.
Yep. I see the person, not the situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fully.
And I think that first of all, fuck that comment. I'm going to say that. Secondly, I think it shows our character as people, that we are evolved from just being ignorant fucking assholes. Because a true testament of character is looking at people and seeing people for who they are, despite what they can do for you.
Meet them where they're at.
Yep.
Yep. And that's best judgment is to not judge other people, because why do you won't want anyone to judge you?
Nobody wants them to judge you, but they feel like the need to judge everybody else. And I understand judging is part of our. I learned about this, believe it or not, in professional development at work.
You grow up and adapt the behaviors around you. So
Well, and judging is a survival technique from caveman days where we have to make judgments and judge people based on their appearance, based on how they act and things like that, to figure out who's the best mate, who's how to survive. You know what I mean? So judgment's always going to be there, but I think as a society we should be a little bit higher evolved here. Hello, and I'm just gonna say the people in the articles, the comments just prove all of
Yep.
our points right.
Mm-hmm.
Ignorant fucking assholes.
Yep.
So, like I said, I think it's a true test of character to be able to look at somebody and
Yeah.
talk with them and understand them, and whether you fall in love with them or not. I mean, just looking at somebody for the person they are, not for what they did 26 years ago at this point. Or I don't know how long Joe's was, but Mike's was 26 years ago. He's not the same person he was 26 years ago. Let's be real. So,
Yeah.
I'm not desperate. I'm just a good judge of character. And clearly the people making these assumptions lack character and tact. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good thing, and it shouldn't be something that people, use as like a knife to jab at us. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that's something I'll wear proudly. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The next one on here is prison wives are just doing what they do for clout and TikTok views. Basically saying that prison wife content is attention seeking and fabricated for attention and engagement. Let me just say, sharing my life online does not mean that I want clout. It just means that I'm trying to normalize conversations about my relationship and my husband and his redemption and his reform. You guys are the one that are turning it into something else and being, what did he do? Blah, blah, blah. Like, like.
Freaking, what do they call it? Shit. It's like buckle bunnies, but for prison bunnies. Like people that just want the true crime part, or they're into the serial killers and all this stuff. Like inmate hoppers, basically, like your girl.
My
Because
twinnie.
that's what people, yeah. And the thing is, you know what? The same people that make these comments about, women, that prison wives are just seeking attention. Well, they're the ones watching Ash Trevino and giving her views and
Yes.
giving her likes and subscribing to her freaking shit.
Yes. Yes. This is the kind of shit that you guys push into the spotlight. So obviously, that's what's gonna fucking keep going.
Yep. And we're here educating, like Paige said, trying to open up dialogue and have a narrative, a constructive narrative, a good conversation, and showing you guys like, y'all, hello, we ain't going nowhere. And if you're going to compare us to Ashley Trevino every fucking second you get, it's going to get old real quick.
Mm-hmm. And just tell me in less words that you didn't listen to the podcast if you want to compare me to Ash Trevino.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's honestly all I have to say, because you're
so your conversation is irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, like everything you're saying does not hit, because I don't care.
Yeah.
I loved this one because I'm like, oh, what a compliment.
Is this number 3?
Yeah, this is number 3.
Okay.
Prison wives are bankrolling their husbands, aka we are the sugar mamas. We spend all of our money on commissary and phone calls and on nothing else. Only prison.
Only prison. Oh.
Only prison.
Okay, so my house, my car, my bills. Who's taking care of that?
I'm so ready to end this tired narrative. Like, the truth of the matter is that a lot of prison wives are financially independent already before we are in our relationships. And a lot of the times our significant others are in there also working very hard. I'm tired of that narrative of this, because like that's not even how most of these relationships work. Are some of them like that? Absolutely. Duh. That's how it is out here too, guys. Like, get real.
Yeah. And I know my husband unfortunately doesn't get to work. He has to kind of make his own job they don't have work for them. So he does art. He's an amazing artist. And so, I mean, he's sold stuff and given me the money. He's sold stuff to pay for his own things.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying that I sit here and all I do is pay for commissary and phone calls, I wouldn't have a roof over my head if that's all I did.
Me either. And literally, my husband sent me money for Christmas. I haven't gotten it yet, but it's literally on its way to me now. And I didn't send him any money.
Yeah, and I had to get a new. In 2020, we had a hurricane come through New Orleans. Really strong one, like the eye. I went outside and looked at the eye. The eye was over us, and I lost my roof. And Michael helped me pay for that. You know, I'm not going to say how because I have a feeling it's totally legal. It was legal money.
It is.
It was during. I'll just say this. It was during COVID. So if you know what I'm talking about, I think you can. He donated. Well, not donated. He gave me some of the money he got.
He's
from
allowed
COVID.
to do that, so there's nothing illegal or wrong.
Yeah, no, it's not illegal. That's what I'm saying. He gave me some of those disbursements.
Which did he have to do that? No,
no,
he wanted to.
He could have taken that and used that money for himself. Mm-hmm. So,
but he's using you, by the way.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hold on. Speaking of, wait, if I'm only paying for phone calls and commissary, please tell me how I'm also paying. Who's paying for my child because he's crying at the door? Give me 1 second.
Okay, and let me know who's paying for my child because the deadbeat dad also left.
Come on, child. Who's paying for this baby?
Precious.
Who's paying for this baby?
Gustavo is here, everyone. Hi, Gustavo.
Say hi, Auntie Paige.
He's like, yeah. I'm in here now. That's what I wanted. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead. All right. Coming around. All right. Sorry, guys. I could hear him whining behind the door.
Want me to go to the next one?
Yep.
This one we've talked about before. I've talked about on my page, so we can kind of just briefly say it. They are glamorizing prison and crime. We are not glorifying crime. We are literally trying to humanize people in a broken system.
Yes. I've always said this. I've never condoned my husband's crime. I'll never condone a factual crime. Like, I will never condone that. So
I've never met a prison wife who has. That's been like, yeah, my husband did what he did and we're glad he did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one has, I've never met.
No.
So that's literally just your brain trying to process because you don't get it, which that's okay. It's hard to get sometimes. I get that. That's why we made the podcast.
Yeah, so keep in mind, these people, the comments like this are from people who don't listen, who don't care to listen, who don't want to know us, who don't care to educate themselves. They're just making these ignorant, tactless comments.
Mm-hmm. This one is actually hilarious, so you're not ready. Prison wives are only in it for the thrill. Challenge the stereotype that prison wives are drawn to the danger and excitement of these relationships. I want to know when this became a thrill.
When is this fun?
When did the roller coaster start? Because I never got on.
I don't get to have my husband here. I have to do this by myself.
Yeah, like what's fun about
this? Is not fun.
No.
This is not thrilling.
The thrill.
I don't enjoy walking into a maximum security prison on Christmas Day, but I do it because I love my husband and he's my person. And that's where I want to spend my time is with him. Do I enjoy going to prison? Fucking no. Are you fucking crazy? These people be tripping.
It's crazy because saying that we're drawn to like excitement and danger. Okay, there's just as many people that are dangerous like that aren't in prison. So like if that's really what we want, then why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
Like
go take a walk down Skid Row if that's what you want. Literally, come on
like
now.
there are other like, especially to the ladies, if you're interested and you're trying, if that's what you're, there are a lot of other routes you can go that would lead you with a lot less stress.
Yeah.
So, one of my faves, number 6, they're naive and being played. Responding to comments like, wait until he gets out and leaves you, or he's just using you.
Same shit, different day, and they're all irrelevant
I forgot
comments.
you knew my husband better than me.
Yeah.
I forgot that. I forgot when you
I
met him
didn't know
and
you've
he
known
told you all
Michael
about
all
himself.
46 years of his life.
Yeah, like I actually forgot that. Like that's crazy. I don't know how I misplaced that. Like no, we're not naive. We know the risks of the relationships. We know the struggles, you know? Like we know what it looks like. We've also not been prison wives before. So we know how prison wives look to other people. So like, I understand what you think, but we we are good. And if you're that concerned about me getting played, I would ask if you're feeding me, fucking me, or financing my life, because why do you give a fuck?
3 F's, y'all. And I'm going to say this because there are some prison wives who might be a little not on the naive side, and
They exist.
I'll admit it. Like when I came into this life, I had no clue what I was getting into.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are women who choose to remain a little naive because there are a lot. I will say this, and I'm not trying to dog anybody, but I mean, I've seen it happen multiple times. I mean, recently before my eyes, there are women out there who choose, choose. Keyword here is choose to ignore the red flags. Choose to ignore.
That
And
happens out
listen,
here too.
I was about to say that red flags happen in every fucking relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm saying fucking a lot. I'm just like, okay, I'll try to do better. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. There are red flags in any kind of relationship, a friendship, a romantic relationship, a platonic thing, whatever a situationship, whatever you want to do. Okay. So there are women who choose to ignore red flags. My friends even are some of those people.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's their choice. They're adults. I can't make them, but there are women out there and I brought up because my friend is one of them. And I brought up this case about, a couple years ago, there was a woman who was a pen pal, MWI. And I don't know if you remember it, Paige. I think I talked to you about it, but I'm not sure. There was a woman who her husband or her guy, and I don't think they were married. I think they were just boyfriend and girlfriend. He got out and he ended up unaliving her.
You know her?
But, huh?
Someone you know?
She was in another prison wife group. But I'm going to say this. Prior to all of this happening, before he even got out, she was saying all of these terrible things that he was telling her and doing, making her do, and all this stuff. And I'm like, everybody in the group was like, red flag, red flag, red flag, walk away, walk away, walk away. And she chose to, but he's this and but he's that, and and then try to defend his really bad behavior, or terrible behavior towards her. And he ended up getting out and had a side piece, and him and the side piece went and unalived her in her car.
And they're back in prison?
Yep. So this asshole got out, committed premeditated murder, murder one, and I shouldn't say murder, but unalived number one, and now he's probably going to get an LWOP sentence.
It was that recent?
I want to say it was like 2019.
You'll have to tell me. I want to look that up.
Okay. So I was let me just say this. I'm not going to say there's no naivety in any, you have naivety in any relationship. It doesn't have to be a prison relationship, but there are women who choose to stay naive in a sense because they don't want to face the reality of red flags.
And I feel like in that same group of women, there's also a group that will sometimes give men too much benefit of the doubt, like saying, oh, he's just treating me or acting like that because he's in prison or he had a bad day, but this XYZ. Okay, babe, if he's doing that to you every day and he's saying that prison is the reason, that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a flag. You know what I mean? But It's just
my husband always says, if he treats you like shit on the inside, you bet your bottom dollar when he gets out, he's going to treat you like shit.
That's why it's crazy to me, because I'm like,
prison is not an excuse.
Whenever I think of like things like that, I'm like, I could never, like, Joseph, I love you until the end of time, but like, oh my gosh, if you were to be treating me the way that some of the ways I see men incarcerated treat some of the women, I would never just put up with that. I understand people have struggles and people have addictions and people have all sorts of other issues. Like, yes, I would work through whatever those are, but a lot of it comes down to just like your morals and like your personality and who you are, and it's hard to hide if you're a piece of shit. If you're a piece of shit, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you're going to be a piece of shit no matter where you are. It doesn't matter, you know? Mm-hmm. And there's people not in prison that probably should be in prison that are pieces of shit.
Period.
So, you know, this judgment of just being in prison it's not relevant, because there are shitty people all over the world. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I wish the world was a better place. But here we are. Sorry, I just had to go on that little rant there. Sorry about that.
No, that's a valid, relatable, not relatable, but related rant.
Yeah.
The next one I have on here is that they ignore the reality of the system. Talking about prison reform, showing that many wives both support their partners and reform advocates. I don't really understand that one, because I think if anything, I think we have a better understanding of the system than a lot of other people. Like, I have a better understanding of a lot of laws and sentencings and how things work than I did before Joe, because I have to now, you know what I mean? So like, if anything, I would say prison wives see the system more clearly, and that's why we fight for reform for our partners, because we see what is right and what should be, and we aren't the ones behind bars. So yeah, we're going to use our voices. I'm never going to be one of those women who just will sit online and type like "free my man." Like, I can't do that. I have to use my voice. Like, it's painful for me. Like, that's why we made this podcast and like, you know, made our community and like did all of the things we're doing with like, you know, photos and nonprofits and stuff, because I'm like, I need to do something. I have to get involved. Like, you know.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this, like, before I met Michael, I had no clue. I didn't pay attention to criminal justice stuff. I didn't even care. Mm-hmm. I didn't really even care. And now it's important to me, because until you've been impacted by the system, you can say all this, but you have no leg to stand on, because you have no idea what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I feel like we scream it over here, because we try to say, like, care about it before you have to.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you never know when the government's going to say, I want that person incarcerated, or I want that person dead. And then your loved one ends up incarcerated or on death row.
Yep. Or
you never know.
In a situation where they are being abused by corrupt COs. And it's being filmed for all of the world. You know?
Yeah. So until, you know, your loved one is not impacted by the system, you really can sit here and make these, you know, lame accusations, as I call them, but you really don't have an idea. And I'm gonna be honest, I was one of those people. Not that I never said anything bad, but I never really thought to care.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I feel like
this has opened my eyes completely.
Yeah. My whole education, I feel like it was my like wake up call, because I like saw so many things and I was like, no. So I think that's how I got sucked in, but I definitely didn't know even what I know now. So, you know.
Yeah.
The last one I have here is prison wives only care about their story. Basically saying that prison wife content creators center mostly on their selves rather than the broader issues like reform. Now, is that a thing? Kind of.
If you're Ash Trevino, absolutely.
Kind of. Like, I mean, if you step over to TikTok, that is kind of a thing. And even something I've talked about on the podcast before is that I kind of stepped away from TikTok because I felt weird after doing all of like the different like promotions and selling videos. Like it felt really fake and pushed. And I usually know when things aren't for me because like my intuition is so strong. So like even Gigi, you know, when we were doing like that one hair thing, it's really painful for me because I'm like, it just like, it's not a natural thing for me to be like, look at this and buy this, because it doesn't, it feels weird. Like my place is in reform and pushing for change and stuff, because that's where I can use my voice the loudest and sound the most confident and the most, you know.
And I can tell that that's where you're more comfortable.
Yes. And that's where I want to be. Like that's where my focus is. That's where, you know, that is my like ultimate goal. So like, but are there prison life creators? Absolutely. Everywhere. And unfortunately a lot of them, and sometimes there are people that will just try to kind of get into the prison life world to become a content creator. I've seen that. So like it's weird, but it happens. And like I don't want to speak in generalizations, but I mean, if you're looking for specifically prison lives who care about reform and other serious issues, they're there. You just have to look for them. They're obviously typically not going to have as big of a following because drama sells.
They probably won't show up as quickly on your FYP.
Yes.
Because you're probably going to get the people that are doing the dramatics or the, you know, exploitation, basically, is what it is. They're exploiting their prison relationship to get followers.
Yes.
That, you know, that's what you're going to see first, because that's where people flock to. But if you keep digging, eventually you will find the people that are there for the right reasons to bring about reform and change and express, you know, certain bills coming up and concern about certain legislation and things like that.
That's it. That's our list.
Oh, that's all you had?
That's all she had.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's time for you know who to give us
Ring ring.
a little ring ding ding. All right, here we go.
Ring a ding ling.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Frederick,
an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution.
Hey, it's Fred.
Ready.
And it's time to get into your questions and your comments. All right. So on every Friday, we try to post a question or comment section and our Speaky Pipe, of course, which we do have one Speaky Pipe. Thank you. Very excited about that. I miss Speaky Pipes.
Me too.
So we're going to go ahead and get into some of your comments and questions. Our first question came from... I'm gonna do this one first. Jamie, one of our members of Love Within Walls, she asked, "What are New York laws on parole?" So I did look this up. So for anybody in New York, here are New York parole laws, and you can all I did was simply Google, and this popped up. Thank goodness for Gemini, Google Gemini. All right, here we go. New York parole laws include conditions, eligibility violations, Less is More Act, preliminary hearings, and recession hearings. Those are all the components. Conditions, parolees must follow strict conditions that vary by case. Common conditions include meeting with the parole officer, maintaining employment and a residence, following travel restrictions, abstaining from drugs and alcohol, avoiding criminal activity and victims. Keep in mind, everybody's parole conditions are a little bit different in Louisiana. They can, you know, make you go to rehab. They can keep you have a restraining order against whatever, you know. Here we have parishes, so counties. You can't go into certain counties where the crime happened or where the victim's family lives, all that stuff. Eligibility, the parole is always going to be considered a privilege, not a right, and parole boards can deny it. Some convictions make prisoners ineligible for parole and only eligible after serving a long sentence. Okay. I'm going to talk about the Less is More Act because that seems to be something specifically for New York. This act created a pathway to early parole through earned time credits. It also ended automatic incarceration for certain technical violations. So I think the conditions, those 5 conditions, are the biggest things. keep in mind that you can have a temporary suspension on your parole, which would give you a rescission hearing. And it would basically bring it back up to the board for a decision. The parolee does have the right to retain counsel if you do have a rescission hearing. And the preliminary hearing obviously is before you are granted parole. And it's basically to make sure you're ready for parole if you need that. But I think the 5 conditions are the biggest things for New York. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And like I said, you can always Google more about New York parole specifically to get more, because there's articles like what you need to know about the Less is More Act, what you need to know about revocation, what you need to know about this. So yeah. Just always remember, parole is a privilege, not necessarily a right. It can be taken away if you violate it. So try not to. All right, that was the first one. Thank you, Jamie, for that. Our next one is from one of our beautiful admins and Paige's bestie, Tay Tay. She said, I just came to say 2025, love with the malls, takeover bitches. So thank you, Tay Tay.
Period.
All right. We also had some comments. I'm going to read those. The first one says, just a huge thank you and shout out to you both for everything you guys do for us, especially this holiday season. From Paige editing to Gigi being open and vulnerable about her holiday feels. It definitely helped me feel like I'm not alone and I was able to get through this holiday season. I love you so much. Happy New Year. So that was from Anna. So thank you, Anna. Love you, honey.
Thank you, Anna.
All right. And another comment we had. I'm not going to say the name because I wasn't sure if she wanted me to say her name, but this came in our inbox. I wanted to take the time to say thank you to you ladies for the podcast. This past year, I have laughed, cried, cursed, and learned so much from the two of you. This life is not easy at all. The struggle is real, but knowing there are other people in this world going through similar situations and having support like your podcast does make it a little bit easier. Loving someone incarcerated was never my plan, but I wouldn't change it. So true.
Retweet.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you both once again. May the new year bring your podcast to a bigger audience and continue to strive and support all of us who have loved ones behind bars.
She manifested that one.
Yeah, I got chills.
Thank you.
Thank you, honeys. Thank you so much. And I know she listens, so she knows who she is. Thank you so much for that. And I just had to share it. I'm not going to say your name, but I just had to share it because her and I had a good, long conversation. And she just got engaged, so congratulations. And, we're here for you. And we're here for everybody, on this journey. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad people are finding us left and right. I love it.
Me too. I literally had someone that found my TikTok the other day that was like, oh, now I have a face to put to the voice, because the only thing that this woman had done is listen to our pod. And I was like, oh my God.
I love that.
Me too.
I love that. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go to our Speaky Pipe. We did have one Speaky Pipe. All right. Here we go.
I just wanted to comment on the Robert Brooks video. I made a comment on TikTok of a former inmate who was talking about the violence inside the prison system with COs. And he specifically stated that he didn't condone what Robert Brooks had done, but in reality, he still didn't deserve what he got from the COs, which I 100% agree. I made a simple comment of he is somebody's child. And the backlash from primarily Trump supporters, according to their pages, was so inhumane and gross. I simply stated a fact that he was someone's child to showcase his humanity.
Yep.
And I'm not denying that his victim was somebody's child. I'm not denying that what he did was wrong. But he was serving his time, and he only had 2 more years left. And those COs are trained to do better, to know better, and should be better. And if we're just going to say that he deserved it because of his crime, then those COs are no better than the people that they are in charge of guarding.
Boom.
I mean, I am still, unfortunately, in disbelief of the cruelty people feel towards people who are incarcerated. And as a mother of somebody incarcerated, it's really sickening.
I cut off there.
She ate with that. That literally
no crumbs.
Like we say that all the time. As someone who is a prison wife, this shit makes me want to cry. But I can't imagine being a prison mom and thinking of your baby in these situations that are so fucking scary by people who are supposed to be paid to take care of them. Thank you for calling in and giving your thoughts on that. I completely agree.
And I know I'm just going to say this because I know there's people that listen that have it out for me, and they know who they are. I'm going to say this because I'm actually going to say not all Trump supporters believe this. I'm not going to say a lot of them probably do. My family included believe what the woman said that people were telling her. I'm not going to say everyone, but she brought it up. So I thought I'd just clarify that because I think that that's important. I wouldn't say every Trump supporter believes that, but I will say the ones that don't believe that, because I've seen it in my own family. They think maybe my dad have changed his mind a little bit, but
I would then ask, okay, so where's the line drawn with you? Because having someone convicted as of this week of rape, that's okay?
Yeah.
Just asking.
Yeah, you put a convicted felon in the president's chair. Mm-hmm. So,
that would just
you have
be
no leg to stand on anymore.
I'd be like, so where are your morals? Can you let me know?
Yeah. It's just convenience. It's basically convenience. Every criminal is a bad person, but yet I'm going to elect someone that is a criminal.
And then I'm going to make shirts about it and talk about it all the time and make a big thing about it.
The hypocrisy is wild to me. So to me, sometimes I think some of these people just say shit out of their ass and they don't even realize what the fuck they're saying. And I feel terrible that she brought that up, that this was a human. Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah. This was a human being. If this was your uncle, your cousin, your brother, your son, would you be like, oh, they deserve it?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say less because I'm going to get myself in trouble and I don't want to do that. I'm going to sip my drink over here. But this just proves our point. This proves our point. You can't keep the system the way it is and then go, crime's rampant. Oh, I need to be tough on crime. If you don't look at changing the fucking system, we're treating people, human beings, like animals. We're corralling them like cattle and treating them as if they are less than human.
We are literally the definition of insanity, the way that we keep fucking doing the same shit with the tough on crime and shit and just going back to it. Like, we are literally jokes, and it's actually, no one gets it because everyone's too busy being like, America, #1, we're the best. Like, every country laughs at us, guys. Like, I don't think people really get that. Like, they look at us and, like, with our gun violence and all the other things, and they're like, what a fucking joke.
Our school shootings, all of it.
But no, we're #1. And also, Eggs are cheaper. All right, I'll stop. And
I needed that. Thank you.
don't forget about the fucking eggs.
I'm just saying, guys, you can't expect the system to change until you have to reevaluate the system. And if you're going to sit here and think that people are incarcerated are less than human beings and they deserve to be killed, God forbid, I hope you never fucking have to deal with the fucking prison system, you mother. Sorry.
Or
it's called kindness and it's free. That's all I'm going to say.
And you know what was something interesting about the articles that were written about us, other than the fact that they corrected every time you said mom to mum for the English thing. And Joe pointed this out. And
I'm not British. I'm not British.
I saw it too, and Joe pointed it out, and I was like, oh my God, because they don't have like life, like full on, like normal, like long-term life sentences there. So when they talked about Joe, they said a whole life sentence. And I was like, that's weird. And they kept saying that, but that's because that's how they explain it there, like a whole life sentence. And I'm like,
they don't have that there. I think in Spain, the maximum amount of years that you can serve is 25 years.
That's also why I feel like a lot of these girls, women that find incarcerated loved ones in America from out of country also probably have a lot of the similar like empathy and stuff that we have, because they come from an area where this is not acceptable, and then they see this land where all these things are being, and they're like, what, you know what I mean? So maybe even more. I never really thought about it like that, you know.
And it also explains why a lot of them find people on death row.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the death row wives in Louisiana are international.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So it makes sense, yeah, because they see a whole different system. And like, a life sentence is 25, 30 years at the most. It's not whole life, natural life, whatever.
That's what they said, a whole life sentence. I was like, what?
Crazy. Okay. I'm sorry for getting angry, y'all. I get...
You're passionate. It's okay. It's
I'm passionate, and I get spicy, and I am very passionate about this. And if you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm just here for the likes and no, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to show that we're normal fucking people."
Yeah, what likes? We're still getting bullied and having articles.
Oh, we didn't even do our mean tweets. Can we do that?
Wait, yeah. Pause.
Okay. And you know what? I wrote that. I didn't. You know why? Because I didn't write it down on my outline. See, womp womp. All right, so we had but just to finish our thoughts here, you were saying that this is why we get bullied, and that's so true, because we speak our minds. We're independent women. First of all, a lot of people don't like that to jump off the jump. A lot of people don't like a female that speaks out and speaks her beliefs and speaks her passions, and we can see that in it doesn't have to be criminal justice. It can be anything, basically. Go ahead.
No, it's not about that.
Oh. So I just, never mind. I lost my train of thought, but you go ahead.
Sorry. I jumped it's my ADHD. I can't. That's why I'm like, when you were reading the New York thing, I was like, I have to go. Because I can't sit here. I'm like, I have to, I went and read the comments. There's more, and they're even more rude.
Wait, is this for us or for Robert Brooks?
For us.
For us. Okay,
what do you mean, Robert
let me
Brooks?
do our mean tweet. Let me do our mean tweet. Oh, yeah. Okay, bring it on, because I'm ready to laugh.
All right. The first comment. Well, first, the title of this article, y'all, is... because this will bring context. I got judged, in quotes. Prison wives share stories about falling in love and marrying men behind bars. And every single comment is rude, and there's 9.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, first one. Like, this is actually... there's parts of me that like want to create an account and respond and troll these people and find out who they are and find their their Facebooks and then harass them. But that's like a part of me that was a page from 2 years ago. So I have to like stop and reel it in and not do that. But the old Paige would absolutely find all of their social media and contact their jobs.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll say this. To be honest, like part of me wants to do this to show people what kind of comments we get, and how this plays right into the fucking title of the article. And part of me is like, they don't deserve our fucking time because first of all, they don't even know us. They're just looking at the title and looking at our pictures and being like, oh my God, you know? And so, I don't know, but I mean, yeah, it's just funny. They play right into it. They play it exactly like we say it every fucking week. They play right into it.
So the first one is, yeah, I think they are being judged by much more than their bad taste in men. That was the first one. That wasn't really that bad, but all right. What? Well, then what? This is what makes me want to make a comment. Well, then can you elaborate? What is it?
What is your taste?
Oh, it's nothing because you have an account.
Person?
You have an account on a website called Bored Panda, and you spend your days commenting on news articles on there. Anyways,
good job. Oh my God, you're so amazing.
The next one is stop making stupid people famous. That was actually like I was like, what?
I think it was a compliment. Like we're getting famous.
I'm like,
thanks.
what the fuck? You like? All right, go off. Like, next one. I'm judging the hell out of these two with an eye rolling emoji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Another person. This person has the gay pride flag as their picture, and they said, Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. This person, weird. I think it is better to go to a psychiatrist if you feel the need to start a relationship with someone on death row. Are you paying? Because I don't have that kind of money. Babe. You know, like, unless they're financing us. This person, I'm not judging them. I'm questioning their judgment. An entirely different thing.
Fuck you. You're judging.
That's judging, babes.
That's judging right there, bitch. Just saying.
But then someone named Rico Suave responded and said, I'm judging them. They're white trash skanks.
Oh. Thank you, Rico.
Like,
with a name like Rico fucking Suave? Are you fucking kidding me?
White trash skanks? Like, are you okay, babe? Like, why do you hate women? It's giving single.
Yeah. It's giving miserable single.
Someone said, was this a paid for endorsement for the podcast? And honestly,
I did like that one.
Period. Like, was it? Because like they linked to the pod, they linked the video, the YouTube. And then the last one is, I think, one, the title and accompanying photos were misleading. I thought it was an article about two women who fall in love with each other while they are both incarcerated. 2, I don't judge. At least they know their husbands are at night, LOL. Though it doesn't necessarily mean they're being faithful. So now it's like, okay, so now the person's like, oh, I'm not judging you, but now I'm also just saying that you might be a whore.
Yeah.
Judge. So again...
These people are all fucking hypocrites, is what I'm going to say.
Like,
because you're sitting here saying really trashy, ugly things, and you have no context.
Mm-hmm.
Zero. Because I guarantee none of these people have ever listened to the pod.
No, they haven't. They haven't. And I think that it's sad that that's how a lot of these people are going to find our pod. But I was looking, and Bored Panda and The Sun apparently are kind of more like right-leaning. So the people on there are bound to probably, more likely than not, have a taste in their mouth about us already.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not always the case. But yeah, so that was what happened to us all yesterday, y'all. We found all this out, and we're like, whoa, what the fuck? And now we get to go on, and there were only 4 comments yesterday. I got on now, and we're called white trash skanks. So there's just a new surprise every time.
Yeah. I'm just a white trash skank who needs to see a psychiatrist. Yeah.
Give me money. Pay me.
Just give me my money.
Literally, like, if you're so, like, I've never, like, these people that are so worried about us, like, babe, you are more worried about me than my family.
Yeah. True that. True that.
I hate people.
I'm worried about the people that tell me that I need to see a psychiatrist. I'm worried about the hatefulness that's in your heart and soul
Okay.
that you probably need some therapy, boo.
Do you know what my brain went to? My brain went to, I hope that this person isn't like a parent or anything, because I'm like, oh my God, imagine that's your parent and they have that kind of rude attitude about these things. But
Yeah.
unfortunately that's a lot of America, because like prison wives, prisons in general are one of the things that are openly acceptable to hate on. I mean, don't
Correct.
drop the soap and all of that shit. Like those are like funny things that people say. Like it's always been a laughing
Yeah. A
thing,
joke,
a joke.
basically.
Yeah.
This is America. Don't get you slipping up. Sorry. I just think of Childish Gambino.
I love that song.
Me too. All right. Was that all the comments we had?
Yeah, I think so.
Stop. Can we go?
We did get a
That
few really cool comments on our videos, and people that did find us that went and subscribed us from the articles. So I will say that is the positive of it. So welcome
Yeah.
to all of our new friends.
Thank you, friends. Welcome. And we hope you enjoy our pod. And we get to know you. I really do. I do enjoy meeting people and talking with some of our new people that come across, in our DMs and stuff. So slide on into our DMs.
We don't bite. Period.
We don't bite. We bite against stupid people, but obviously you aren't one of those. So thank you for finding us. And yeah. All right. Well, thank you to all of the amazing people who left us an amazing and very
Thank you
well
for
thought out and
taking
know
your
us just
time.
so well.
Yeah, thank you
Comment.
for really. I know you love me, but I know you love me like that.
And I will say this, like this morning, I woke up because I was very panicky yesterday, and I woke up and I'm like, even if we get talked shit about, like
It'll
these stupid
happen.
people, it's going to happen anyway. It doesn't matter. And I think also it's bringing up my sister-in-law, one of Michael's best friend, told me like, this is, you're going to educate people. You're going to change people's
Yep.
perception.
What
And
we need
yeah,
to.
not everybody's going to change. And I get it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Opinions are like assholes. They all stink. We get it. But, hopefully I can, bring awareness. We can bring awareness to people that may not have had an awareness before, that, people in prison are still people first and foremost. That's the first thing. And, it needs to be looked at, the system needs to be looked at because it's very corrupt and it's very, backwards.
Broken.
And broken. Thank you. So there is some good parts to it. And obviously it puts it out there for people that may be in this life and they didn't know we existed. So I'm grateful for these articles. I've learned to kind of let it go and
I know. It's
be
what we
grateful for
want.
it.
We want our voice and story put out, and we want to catch the eye of people who might be interested to listen, and the people that weren't gonna read that anyway. So, bye.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we will have a meme for you guys. We like to do we like our meme of the week to now be a surprise. Based kind of on what we talk about during the Potty Pod. And I think that's all I have, Paige.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay, so be on the lookout for a meme today. And like, share, subscribe, comment, rate. These are things that can help us. Okay, we're taking over the world,
Help with
guys. It's
algorithm,
happening.
y'all. Please do it.
2025 is our year, and we're taking over the world.
Check us out on Patreon too.
Yes. So, and we have some wonderful things coming out with YouTube, with Facebook. So we're working on that. We're getting things together behind the scenes right now for that, so that we can have a very successful year this year as far as potting goes. So help us out, So we love you guys so much. We do. I will say this. I'm a hothead a little bit. I get in my feels about stuff. But I have one of the biggest hearts. And I love this community. wouldn't be here if we didn't. And I love you guys so much. I'm just very passionate about things, and I want people to understand. And to me, I apologize if I'm a little bit more on the passionate side, but it's part of who I am. And I'm not going to apologize for being me, but I know that it offends people. So I'm going to just say, well, I do that because I want to stress a point, and I'm trying to make people understand certain things about this system. And and it's because I love it. I love you guys, and I want change to happen, just like Paige does. Paige is just very more mindful, very cutesy, very demure. Whereas I'm just like,
well, I can like, I just like have the point and I say, I can't like, and that's just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a very good, I don't want to say ramble because you don't ramble, but I'm not a very good, like I have what I have on my mind and I say it type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, darling. All right, guys. Well, we love you. Stay safe out there. We love you. And we'll see you guys
Happy New Year.
week. And Happy New Year. Happy 2025. May all of your manifestations that you're working towards and your resolutions
Come to
happen
fruition.
for you. Yep. Amen. All right, guys. We love you. Big hearts to all of our wallers.
Love y'all.
Besitos. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.